Welcome, everyone. Today's discussion is all about how to actually lose belly fat, diving into the science behind it, and all the practical tips.
Oh, absolutely. Belly fat is such a stubborn topic, right?
Right? It's like there are two types of belly fat: the surface fat that covers your abs, and the more dangerous visceral fat, which is stored deep in your organs.
Yep. And from what I've seen, the visceral fat is the real health risk, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Visceral fat is the sneaky kind that increases risks for things like heart disease and type 2 diabetes, while the superficial one is more about aesthetics, although still challenging to shed.
Right. And what's so interesting is that losing belly fat isn't really about doing specific exercises for the belly. It's more about overall fat loss through creating a caloric deficit, correct?
Absolutely. The key, as many experts point out, is a consistent caloric deficit achieved primarily through diet. It's not that you can zap belly fat by doing endless sit ups,
Yes,
it's
indeed.
about overall fat loss over time.
So let me get this straight. If someone targets exercises just for the abs, they're not really going to see the kind of results they'd expect?
Exactly, because no special exercise can preferentially reduce belly fat. Whether it's crunches or planks, exercises alone won't melt away that stubborn fat. You need the calorie deficit as your primary weapon.
Mm, that ties in well with what scientists like Lane Norton have mentioned, right? That exercise is beneficial overall but not sufficient on its own for belly fat loss.
Correct. Lane Norton, who is both a champion powerlifter and a researcher, emphasized that unless you're consistently in a caloric deficit, no amount of exercise, no matter how hard, is going to target belly fat on its own. And it's refreshing to
Right.
see experts speak the truth here.
Speaking of diet, I've heard Alan Aragon has some creative ideas on how to manage your caloric intake, like listing your favorite foods and balancing them out.
Yes, Alan Aragon suggests making a list of your top favorite foods from various food groups, like high protein, fats, fibrous veggies, starches, dairy, and fruits, and then balancing them with a couple of YOLO foods as treats. It's a neat way to
Yep,
make
that's right.
dieting sustainable.
That sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? I mean, could it really be that effective?
Well, it's science based. Keeping protein high is key to preserving muscle mass. And he also noted that diets high in saturated fats might lead to more visceral fat compared to diets higher in polyunsaturated fats, even when calories are the same.
So, would you say that the quality of the calories matters as much as the quantity?
Absolutely. It's like you can be in a deficit but still not be making progress if the quality of your food is poor. You need balanced macronutrients to support overall health and muscle retention.
Now, what about exercise? Aside from the obvious calorie burn, how does resistance training play into belly fat loss?
Great question. Eric Trexler, a pro natural bodybuilder and researcher, stresses that resistance training is crucial. It's all about building muscle. More muscle means a higher metabolic rate, so you burn more calories, even at rest.
Yeah, I get
Moreover,
that.
resistance workouts help ensure that when you lose weight, you're not like losing precious muscle.
And I imagine cardio also has a role, right? Especially when your non exercise activity drops over time.
Exactly. Cardio keeps your overall movement high. Even things like NEAT, which is all those little movements you do throughout the day, become important. It's a multi tiered approach to maintain your calorie burn.
Now, something that really stands out to me is the surprise element sleep. I mean, who knew that lack of sleep could actually sabotage belly fat loss?
Yeah, intriguingly, Professor Bill Campbell talked about sleep's impact. He referenced studies that suggest sleep deprivation might not only increase overeating, but also promote muscle loss while on a diet, which in turn can lead to more fat stored preferentially around the belly.
Yeah,
It
for
really
sure.
emphasizes the holistic nature of fat loss.
It's like every piece of the puzzle diet, exercise, sleep has to come together perfectly.
Exactly. And then there's the final piece from Liren's Honlin, advising that unless you're genetically predisposed to having low body fat on your core, you might need to get leaner than you think to see your abs
Right,
emerge.
exactly. That makes sense. It's like no matter how perfect your routine is, if you're not patient, you'll give up just before the real transformation happens.
Yes, consistency is the name of the game. He also talked about tracking progress not just with a scale, but through measurements, how your clothes fit, and how you feel overall. It's a much more
Mm-hmm,
comprehensive
true.
picture than a single number.
However, I will respectfully challenge one thing. Some might argue that exercise alone could target fat loss in the belly if done right. What would you say to that?
That's a fair point, but the evidence suggests otherwise. While exercise is fundamental, studies show that even with dedicated movement, without proper nutrition leading to a caloric deficit, belly fat tends to persist.
Yep, that's
So
backed
it's
by the
really about the
science.
combination rather than isolation.
Right, a holistic approach then. And what about the recommendation to get around 7 hours of sleep? Is that really a one size fits all solution?
Well, it might not be one size fits all, but 7 hours is a solid target, as research shows shorter durations can promote overeating and less efficient fat loss, even leading to increased visceral fat. It's definitely a baseline we can work with.
So, summing up all of this, the action plan to lose belly fat involves creating a consistent caloric deficit with a smart nutrition plan that emphasizes quality, engaging in both resistance training and cardio, getting proper sleep, and staying patient and persistent through the journey.
Yep, that's essentially it. And it's about integrating these elements into daily life so that your metabolism stays active and you're not just dropping weight, but actually losing that dangerous visceral fat and the superficial fat too.
Exactly. It really feels like every step is interconnected. If you neglect one, like sleep or diet quality, you could undermine the efforts of another.
Right, the interplay is what makes body transformation challenging yet fascinating. It's like building a puzzle where every piece must fit perfectly. Skip one piece, and the whole picture is incomplete.
Yeah, totally. And what's encouraging is that these steps are quite actionable. They aren't some mystical secret. They're based on solid science and expert advice.
Absolutely, and that's why this approach stands out. Whether it's using a calorie calculator or following a structured training plan like the ones offered on some science based fitness sites, the methods are pragmatic.
Mm-hmm, indeed. I love how this conversation reinforces that there are no shortcuts. It's about consistency over time.
Precisely. And it's also a reminder that these long term strategies beat quick fixes, which often lead to binge recovery cycles. It's like, you have to trust the process and stick with it.
Right on. Awesome. Thanks for breaking that down so clearly. It really demystifies the science behind losing belly fat in a sustainable way.
No problem at all. If anyone's tuning in, remember, make sustainable changes, stay patient, and celebrate every small win along the way.
Absolutely. Cheers to that. Looking forward to our next chat where we'll tackle another common fitness challenge. Thanks, everyone.